Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Minecraft LP series. My name is Hocus. This is episode 20. How you doing today? I'm doing pretty good. Had a good week so far, and I hope you guys have had the same. So right now we are over at the sugarcane farm, and once again things may look very different, but for another reason. Not because we have an iron farm in the background, as we did last episode, but because over a live stream that we did last weekend, we spent a bunch of time extending the design work that we had going around the outside of the sugarcane farm. So that 5 wide gap is now expanded all the way around 3 sides of the farm. And if we actually hop down onto the walkway, we can see that we have this little extension here which leads to the back of the farm. This allows us to fire the flying machine from both sides of the farm. So we've got one button here and of course the original button on the other side of the farm that can be accessed over the top of the collection system here. However, you guys, despite the progress that we've made, I still feel as though something's missing here. It's all just a little bit too plain for me. And I think that means it's time for a very quick transformation. Here we go. Alright then guys, check it out. I hope you'll agree with me when I say that this looks much better. So let's dive right in and take a look at the finer details here. So of course we've added some different textures to the flooring, the pathway, just to mix it up slightly. That breaks down this plain stone brick pattern that we've got going on. I also broke up the fencing here by adding some posts in. Oh, and here comes the rain, of course, just in time. And then every now and again, every so often, one of these fence posts or these kind of pillar-like breakdown structures is converted into a lamppost to give a bit of lighting. So I haven't completely lit the area up, but I've just given it some sort of ambience so that we're going to be relatively safe in the area at night, you know? Not entirely safe, but relatively safe. And as I say, the exact reason why I chose to show you guys this at night is because it does give off that little bit of ambient lighting. It looks quite quaint, right? Now, the next step on my list of things to do to this area is to add some lighting to the water. So fortunately for us, recently I was able to buy one of these guys from the Wandering Trader, but unfortunately you can't seem to multiply them using bone meal in this area at least. So you can see I'm right clicking it, we're losing bone meal, but nothing's happening to the sea pickle. We've only got the one. So I'm hoping that if we take this to one of the tropical water biomes or whatever they're called, we can actually get some more of these guys. Oh, hey there. Okay, perfect. This is the biome I was looking for. So I'm guessing that this is actually called warm ocean and not tropical ocean, as I said earlier. So hopefully we can expand our sea pickle collection here. I mean, there is definitely something different going on because we're getting the green textures now, but uh-oh. It's all good though, because I can see there are a bunch of sea pickles in the back there, so we can naturally harvest these guys. And this singular one right here only cost me 2 emeralds, so it didn't really break the bank. Back over at the sugarcane farm again, you guys, and as you can see, I have placed some of the sea pickles that we just collected into the water below, which again gives it that nice little bit of ambience at night. And you should always, with builds, in my opinion, attempt to figure out some way to light them up ever so slightly, because it always makes things look a lot better at night. So that's why I've gone with the lampposts here, and then the sea pickles in the water, just to give it that little bit of ambience. As I say, I've used that word a few times already, but it's a good word to describe what we're doing. But you can see down there, I've put them in bunches of up to 3. So you'll occasionally have a single sea pickle, a double sea pickle, or maybe a triple sea pickle. And they're just spread out fairly evenly across the water, giving it that nice little bit of lighting at night. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. By this point of the video, you might be wondering what's on the menu for the majority of today's episode. So this is something that I've had a couple of requests for recently. And it's something that we probably have been neglecting quite a lot as well in this series. What we are going to be doing is actually working here on the base today. We're going to be trying to spruce it up a little bit, add some more design and detail, because at the moment we've got some sporadically placed builds and not a lot going on in between. And to get started on doing what we're going to do today, we need to begin figuring out the exact shape of the ravine here and working out a few of the kinks. So let me try to find an example here of one of those kinks. So here's one right here. We've got this ledge which overhangs into this part of the base. So what we essentially have to decide to do is whether to take this out or whether to fill the bottom in like so. So we need to bring everything level. We don't want to have too many ridges and overhangs because those will be hard to light up areas, and then that will provoke mob spawns, which is obviously something you don't want in your base. So we could either do one of two things, as I say. We could either knock the ridge out or just fill it in from the bottom, but then we have to also consider any ridges above that one. So of course these blocks might need to go. So in that case, we might just want to take this section out entirely. We also have areas like this in the base where there is a significant drop in floor level, and in this situation I think I'm just going to go ahead and fill it all in with some stone. But it might be important in this situation just to make sure that we are lighting up the surface level here properly, so we don't want anything to spawn under the floorboards because that might be super annoying. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill all this in, leave about a 1 block gap in the end, and then we'll just hop down there, place a bunch of torches to make sure that it's completely lit up. I mean, alternatively, we could just fill this in with blocks, but I'm feeling rather lazy at the moment. So let's go with the torch method, fill it all in like so, and then we can just tower our way out, and there goes the hole in the floor. It's disappeared just like that. I think a good metaphor for this process is a haircut. So ultimately you don't want to remove all of the hair, but you just want to tidy things up. So you can see now this ravine wall here looks a lot smoother. It still maintains that ravine shape almost quite naturally, but at the same time it's a nice flat wall. There aren't any overhangs, any ridges, anything like that that could be difficult to light up further down the road. I know, of course, up there we do have that situation, but I'm kind of thinking from this point downwards at the moment. So now that we've kind of outlined those plans, let's take a look at another plan of mine. And that next plan is involving the flooring. Now, I've been thinking about the flooring in the base for a long time and trying to come up with the perfect idea. And a lot of those ideas I've had have been quite complicated, a mix of a bunch of different texture types and colors and that kind of thing. But I think that in conclusion, we are just going to go with something very, very simple and something that I really didn't consider in the first moment, but that is just going to be laying down spruce logs in this pattern, so just straight across like so, throughout the entire ravine, so that eventually we'll have a flat flooring that has a simple color and a simple texture. So this will continue across the entire ravine, as I say. And then once we've managed to fill the ravine with the spruce, then we'll think about maybe adding either some extra textures to it, or alternatively, I really liked how the carpet worked out up in our storage system. So maybe we could translate that carpeting down to the ravine flooring here and have something similar. I think that would look really, really nice. Okay then guys, this is what we're left with after putting in the work so far. And of course there is still room for expansion either side. We've got some decisions to make with that because alternatively to the idea I proposed earlier, where we would just flatten all of this down to Y15, we could just put a facade in there and make it look as though the ravine ends here rather than back there. But that's a decision that we'll make probably further down the road. Anyway, let's go take a closer look at the flooring here, because there is one big issue with using the spruce in the way we have here, and that is that we have made it so that there is no contrast between the blocks that we've been using for our farms here and the floor. So we've got the strip spruce on the farm and the strip spruce on the floor, which doesn't really work too well. So I guess we've got two choices: either change the blocks in the farm or change the flooring. So another alternative flooring pattern we could have gone with is just some plain spruce planks. And that's something that we've used up here in the storage system. It doesn't look too bad at all, especially with a little bit of carpet on it. So I suppose we could do that. We could just rip out all of the flooring and replace it with the spruce planks. I think that's something that we may test right now just to see what it looks like. You guys, I am super annoyed with myself that I didn't spot this issue before it arose. So I just mentioned that things are going to look slightly weird with the spruce flooring because it doesn't, it doesn't contrast at all with what we've been using for the builds here because it's the same block type. So I've tried out a few different things. I've tried borders, I've tried planks with borders, spruce wood logs with borders. I've tried planks on their own, and nothing seems to be looking too great to me. So I think what I'm going to have to do is maybe just bite the bullet on this one and go and switch everything over to planks. And then what we'll try to do is get some carpet down and see what sort of patterns we can get going in this limited space. Because at the moment, things just aren't working out. And I really don't want to change the blocks that we've used for the farms here. I really like how the spruce wood looks. So I think in order to contrast things just enough, we might just have to stick to planks on this one. Not what I want to do, but unfortunately, things don't always work out the perfect way, do they? So let's get down to business. Okay, guys. Okay, a little bit more relieved. I've been working tirelessly to get this place going and trying to make things work. And I think I've finally figured something out. And it's going to be involving a lot of carpet. As you can probably tell, based on what we're doing here and what you may have just peeked in the background. So for this side of the room, I am going to be sort of randomizing the carpet. So we start with a layer of brown, and then we're going to interlace some gray, light gray, and black to create a sort of amalgamation type feel. So it's going to have all three colors of carpet that we've been using so far. However, on the opposing side of the room, where's that dude? Excuse me. Thank you. On the opposing side of the room, we've got a completely different style going on. So I'm kind of doing like a split test, and I'm going to see which one you guys prefer. But quite honestly, I think both of them work rather well, if not very well, rather well, I think is a good way to explain it. So let me continue to place this carpet down, and once I'm finished with this pattern, I will give you guys an overview of both together, and then I guess we can just wait for the comments in this video and see which one you guys end up preferring. Alright then guys, let's commence this split test, and as I say, I want you guys to let me know down in the comments exactly which one you prefer. And then based on the results here is how I guess we're going to decide to progress. So on the one side of the room, we have the brown layer with the interlaced gray, light gray, and black carpets. And that follows through to a white border, which surrounds a familiar pattern in the middle of the room, which you may recognize from the storage room. So I've just copied the storage room pattern down in the center there, just in front of the cow farm. However, on the following side of the ravine, the opposing side, we've got this concoction. So this one's a bit more calculated. We've got the brown underlayer, but mixed within is a pattern that utilizes, once again, the gray, light gray, and black combination. It is a pattern that works diagonally as well as linearly. So we've got the blacks, the grays, and the light grays in order so that we're creating a nice little pattern in the brown carpet there. So as I say, you guys will have to let me know which one you prefer. So we've got on the one side the random pattern, which is pretty cool in my opinion. And then on the following side, we've got ourselves the more calculated pattern, which again, doesn't look too bad. And then on the inside, we've got the pattern from the storage room here, which I think works quite well. So just take it all in, guys. Rewind the video from here if you have to look over them a little bit more closely. And then just keep in mind as well that we've got this white border on the inside. So this kind of just separates the middle pattern from the remainder of the room. And once again, I think that's something that works quite well. So we'll stick with that. We'll definitely stick with this pattern in the middle of the room. And then we'll just have to decide which of the two split test designs we're going to use. And another big mistake. So I've just realized that I was supposed to align this with the middle of the cow farm, which would have been this block right here, where the lamp is. Got it one block off. We're not going to fix that today, but we just need to make sure that we remember that for the future. Darn it. For the next change to the base, we're going to need a few vine blocks. And what I mean by vine blocks are the mossy block types. So mossy cobble, I think, is what we're going to be using. So I figured that this might be a good time to make ourselves a very, very simple vine farm. So what you can do is utilize water streams and I guess gravity is what we'll go with, because that is the force that will be bringing the vines down to the water here. You can combine those two things to create a super simple vine farm. So we'll have the vines hanging from a pillar roughly this tall, I think is a good height. And then what we're going to be able to do is stand on these slabs there and use the shears to break them down. And then, of course, they'll fall into the water and down to our feet where we can simply collect them. You know what? In fact, we might go a little bit taller here. Now, I do eventually want to create an actual vine farm that has a lot more design work than this, but, oh, one grew pretty much immediately there. But for now, this will do, and we actually do always have a little bit of a stash, because this tree here was acting as a sort of temporary farm. So it doesn't look like I have any shears. Oh, I do. Awesome. So as I say, this tree right here was acting as our temporary farm. So I'm just going to grab a few extra vines from it. Then we're going to prepare the block types that we need. And then I'm going to show you guys what we are about to do in terms of, yeah, that next, hopefully, improvement. This episode's been a little bit shaky though. So let's make sure we get this one right. So walls of the ravine, they're not going to remain very natural at all. Or I guess to some extent they will, but what I really mean by that is they will not contain their natural formed or naturally generated blocks. So anything that isn't stone, we're going to remove and replace with stone. We just want a flat stone surface. And again, I'm going to do something pretty much identical to what we did last time we were having a ravine base, which was, of course, in the prior series to this one. So we used the same technique. We mined out any block that wasn't stone, replaced it with regular stone. And then from that point, we use the blank canvas to add some extra block types. So right here, I've got the blocks that we're going to be using. So I'm going to use some cobblestone, mossy cobble, some andesite. I think we're going to throw some cracked stone brick, some polished andesite, and then one more block, which I did in fact forget to grab, is gravel. And we're going to use those blocks to just give some texture to the wall. So it's not going to be covering the entire wall. I'm going to use this a lot more intermittently than I would usually, so that we've got a lot more regular stone showing through. But I'm just going to add it in there for extra texture, a little bit of extra color, and just to make things look a little less plain, because these big gray walls, they don't look all that good. So what we'll do is we'll just break out a few blocks here and there, be as random as possible. And as I say, mostly we just want to leave the stone intact. So it'll mostly be stone. And then what we'll do is we'll just interlace the blocks in the wall. And something else I think is quite a nice idea is to maybe create some slabs and stairs and have the slabs and stairs in there as well, instead of whole blocks all the time. Just again, gives that little bit of difference in shape and texture, that kind of thing. So this is what it will look like. Let me collect up all of our blocks here and take a step back. So we'll have mostly stone, but as I mentioned, there will be different block types mixed within that stone, just to give that extra bit of color and texture. And I think once everything has this design work on it, it's going to look pretty sweet. All right then, guys, let's take a quick look, because this may make it a little bit easier for you to make your decision about the carpeting. So I've worked in a facade on this side, which I need to expand towards the ceiling eventually. So we're just going to cap our ravine at this point here. I don't think there's any need to go any further. There is nothing back there at all. So we've got a bit of work done on this side, and that's how it looks with the carpet in. And you have to remember, this isn't the finished article at all. There's still a lot more work to do. There may well be offshoots in the walls here. There may well be builds in the walls. There's going to be stuff going on. It's not going to look like this for the entirety of its existence. Taking a look at the other side, we're a bit more complete round here. And once again, I was thinking about capping this off here, but I don't know if you guys remember this. Something I think I've mentioned before. Ooh, let's try not to kill ourselves here. Flying inside of the ravine is super dangerous. Be careful. Okay, so we actually have this other mini ravine that runs through the back of the original ravine. So we're going to leave this side open for now, just in case we make use of that at some point in the future. But this is how the carpeting's looking with the wool. And once again, just keep in mind, this isn't the finished product. It's going to go all the way to the ceiling eventually. We're going to mold and sculpt this ravine to be the way we want it to be. And there also will be builds and offshoots and that kind of thing, you know, etc., etc. Same thing that I said for the other side. So it's looking good so far. And of course, I did mention as well that we'll put some slabs in, some stairs in, that kind of thing, just to give extra detail to the walls. But right here is going to be something else that I need to look at. So we need to make sure that the ravine here looks suitable enough. We need to be able to access this button. But also there's this really extravagant cave system here that sort of sprouts off. I haven't explored it all yet. And I think, again, the area inside of this cave we might eventually use for the base. We might expand into it just for the purpose of building, the purpose of having more room to work in, that kind of thing. So we may want to have a little entrance there, which might be something that I work on here to finalize the episode. So how are we going to do this? Because as I say, this needs to be clean enough where we can access the button, but also access the cave in behind. So we might have to make our own little entrance here. We might have to mine out a little bit more space or see what we're working with up here. Which again, let's carefully fly on up there if we can. Oh, zombie. I've been noticing a lot of mob spawning as well, so I don't know what's going on. We might need to fix that. Okay, yeah, this entrance up here might be a little bit better actually if we can work it in this way. I don't know, I'm gonna have a think about it off camera, but let's try and figure something out. Okie dokie then, guys. I am going to be wrapping up the video in just a moment. I have to be honest. Today, the creative juices just aren't flowing as well as they could be. But this is about as good as it's going to get, I think. Holy moly. Look at that guy up there. So what we've got is some pillars. They rise up to a certain point. That's the height of the ceiling. Oh, he jumped down and split into 3. Nice. And then we've just got some small detailing on the inside. And the staircase itself is a combination of some of the wall textures. So we've got the stone brick, the andesite, polished andesite, mossy cobble, and regular cobble. All in all, not too bad of a little setup, and that leads us upstairs into the cave area. Just through the floor here is the underside of the cave area, which you saw in the last clip, I believe. So yeah, there's room for expansion, which is awesome, and room for us to put a few things off to the side up there if we want to. But as I say, I don't know. Something isn't quite working right in the Hocus machine today, and it's making tasks like this quite laborious. So I think we'll wrap it up. I did have a little creeper situation right here. He ended up taking away a lot of the carpet, so we'll have to fix that once you guys have helped me make the decision on the carpet. We also still need to move this thing across because it's not aligned correctly, as I mentioned earlier in the video. Hey! Making me destroy my torches here. and then we'll eventually just continue with the pattern that gets chosen when this video is released, and you guys leave your feedback down below. So as I say, let's move on to the finale of today's video and get things wrapped up. Alright then, guys, welcome back to today's episode for the last time for today. This has been episode 20. I've been Hocus Pocus, and I do sincerely hope that you had fun with this episode. If you are new around here, then please consider subscribing down below, and also welcome to the Hocus Pocus channel. Hope you enjoyed your stay today. If you have any questions, suggestions, comments, and I urge you to leave feedback, especially on the carpeting here, then please also go ahead and leave those down below. Comment section is under the video there. And finally, again, if you enjoyed the video, I know I've said that a few times already in this outro, but if you enjoyed the video, then please consider dropping a like as well, because that would be graciously, greatly appreciated. And of course, it will help me out here on the YouTube. So once again, guys, hope you enjoyed this one and had a lot of fun. Take care, have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.